Greetings, family, friends, and survivors. Well, look what we have here. I bought 3 of these to start with. That's a lithium ion 7S 24 volt BMS with balancer. It's not just a balancer, but it's a power handling BMS. Discharge current 100 amp max and charge current 100 amp, and those are continuous values. It's actually double that for, I don't know, 4 or 5 seconds, something like that. So rather than getting lithium ion for our solar power system and just putting balancers on them, I decided that the safest thing to do would be get a true BMS that's capable of opening circuit if the battery voltage is too high or too low. And I wanted the exact values for the battery chemistry that I bought. 2 years of research, waited a long time, and this 7S configuration brings me to the very best efficiency factor I can get for my particular inverter. Some people are running their Magnums at 6S. I don't want to. I'd rather have a little higher voltage than that for higher efficiency. At any rate, this is going to be a little lengthy process to do. Pretty busy these days and a lot going on in the fall. So we're going to try to do this where I can take my batteries, the L16 batteries, when it cools off a little bit, I'll put those in the greenhouse and run the cables through the wall. Then I'm going to completely reconfigure the solar power room. So ultimately there will be 6 of these and 6 of the lithium ion batteries that I got. They're 3 kilowatts each. And I didn't want to rely on just the solar charge controller for a safety, because I've heard of, in fact I have one TriStar that was hooked up to a hydro system, diversion hydro system, and its diversion load failed and it destroyed a whole set of batteries. So actually it destroyed 16 batteries. That's kind of a bummer. A guy wasn't home. It's on a gold mine way up in the mountains. And so it can happen. And in this case it was a TriStar PWM that failed. And so I have it still. Its diversion mode is defunct completely. So I don't know if that would happen with the solar side, but you know, equipment can fail. And if it fails on the high side and overcharges your batteries, your solar charge controller can turn your lithium ion battery bank into a giant bomb. We don't want that. So rather than relying on the solar charge controllers alone, a true BMS, battery management system, power handling BMS for each battery seems to me the safest thing I can do. I know Victron makes some overvolt, undervolt relays up to 250 amps, but the wrong voltage parameters in the end user set points aren't sufficient for what I have. So this one is exactly spot on with what I needed. So ultimately we're going to have 6 of these, and I think that will be more than sufficient for us. And so we're saving our pennies to buy 3 more batteries and 3 more BMSs. Another thing that helps as a safety is the Magnum inverter. You can just tell it to power down at whatever voltage you want. The inverter will actually run from 33 volts down to 18 volts. Well, I'll be running it at about 28.5 down to about 24. And so that's a second safety to keep from draining your batteries too far, as the inverter will power down at the set point you want. But you don't want to trust your inverter alone, as the batteries are too expensive to trust just one advice. So, you know, I used to work in the chairlift and gondola business for ski areas. And redundant safeties, when people's lives are at risk, redundant safeties is the standard. That's all I got to say about that. I'll let you know how it goes. Have a blessed day.